Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Travis with Tech Stimulus, and today we're going to cover the Apple and USB-C controversy. Will Apple actually adopt the USB-C port? Maybe, or maybe not. Alright, so Apple has always been the company to go against the grain, innovate, create their own version of something, and in this case we're talking about the Lightning port. Now Apple's been hanging on to the Lightning port for quite some time. It was actually part of the iPhone 5 redesign back in 2012. They've refused to switch to USB-C for as long as they could. Now some could argue that Apple is truly being innovative. They've got their own charging solution. It's been reliable for quite some time, but others will tell you the truth. It's simply a money grab. We won't even send you a cable in your box whenever you buy a new iPhone. We make you purchase a proprietary charging system. I mean, why would we allow you to just grab a USB-C cable from your camera or something you have in a junk drawer laying around and let you charge your iPhone when we could just make you purchase something that you have to purchase? I mean, there are so many iPhone users in this world, it just makes sense, right? Now let me take a step back. Apple switching to USB-C isn't Apple trying to help the users out, help them save money, rid the hassle of having to have a proprietary charging system all the time. It's only because European legislation has been passed and it's actually being supported by US lawmakers. And there could even be something in United States legislation that could be passed eventually. This is Apple being forced to maybe have to swap to a universal charging system like USB-C. Now, whether or not the United States actually passes something or not, it really doesn't matter. Apple's got a couple choices here. They can either continue to make the phones the way that they do and sell a European version of the phone, or just conform altogether, change out their charging solution to all USB-C, and sell one charging solution. In my opinion, it would be easier to just conform and sell the USB-C phones, but you never know what Apple will do. Now, Apple's pushback is actually kind of comedic to me. Their argument is that if they swap to USB-C, it's going to stifle innovation and create more e-waste. Now, I do see the innovation aspect of their argument to a degree. You always want to be able to operate in a capacity that allows for innovation and creating new technology. And making Apple adhere to certain standards could stop them from deviating and improving on the technology that we have today. However, I don't think that Apple switching to USB-C is going to stifle innovation. I think it's simply going to save device owners some money from having to purchase a new Lightning cable here and there, and that's about it. So Apple might lose out on a couple extra bucks, but not really a huge deal, right? Now on to e-waste. This is where I kind of laugh at everything. Apple makes the argument that if they switch to USB-C, it's going to create more e-waste. I think e-waste is the last thing that Apple is truly worried about. They promote yearly phone upgrades. I mean, it doesn't get more e-wasty than that, right? If they truly cared about e-waste, they would just make a solid iPhone and improve software and not force you to have to update your phone physically, every year or two. Now, don't get me wrong. I do like Apple. I actually use an iPhone myself. They make great products. But I do think that the USB-C port would add some sort of compatibility and convenience that's been lacking in the device that they've always created. Now, if you want to talk about the performance of the Lightning port and the cable, it was great for a little bit, but it came out a decade ago. And it's been falling behind on charging speeds and data transfer speeds for quite some time now. It's been just trailing behind USB-C. And I think it's time for that refresh. Now back to this legislation. It was passed and it takes effect in December of 2024, so that's next year. So I don't think it's going to be on the iPhone 15, even though it could be. There was actually some CAD files, some photos released that shows a USB-C charging port on what they believe to be the 15. But really, Apple doesn't have to comply this year. They don't have to comply next year, because if you look at their upgrade cycle being on September, that means they could come out with a new phone next year, in the year that the legislation takes effect, and they don't have to comply, right? Now, whenever it comes to 2025, that's when Apple's really going to have to make a decision whether they come out with USB-C on their phones or they make another move. Now, let's shift gears a little bit. USB-C aside, Apple has actually been testing a portless phone for quite some time. They've been really throwing that idea around a little bit, and it's possible that they could comply without actually adopting USB-C and possibly having this portless iPhone. Again, it's something they've tested internally and been throwing around for a little while, so you just never know what move they're going to make. Alright guys, that's actually all that I have for now on the Apple USB-C controversy. Leave me a comment below. What do you think that Apple's going to do in this situation? What move do you think they're going to make? More importantly, what do you think that they should do? Is there a better route? And as always, thanks for watching. If you did find this video to be helpful in any way or interesting, please leave a like to support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.